How you going, guys? Josh from Bigger Boys Toys here. Today I'm going to show you how to check for spark on your machine. We're going to test spark on this fire pump we've got here and this 54 chainsaw here. So there's a couple ways you can do this. The first way is to leave the spark plug in and get another spark plug it straight into the cord. I don't like to do it that way because that way when you're pulling it over, you have to pull the compression of the engine over. So today we're going to test it by pulling the spark plug out, earthing the spark plug and checking for spark. Righto guys, I'll show you how to do it. Righto guys, so we've got our fire pump here. Like I said, we're going to test for spark. First thing to look for, you got your spark plug lead. Should be just above the valves here, next to the exhaust, between the air filter. Should be able to pop that off and expose the spark plug. Like I said before, there is another way to test it. The other way to test it is just popping another spark plug straight onto that lead and then pulling it over. I don't like doing it that way because then you have to pull over the compression of the engine, and it makes it a little bit hard to pull, so you've got to focus more on pulling than you are checking for spark. So when you pop out the spark plug that's in there, it decompresses the engine completely, makes it so you can pull it over one hand nice and easily. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to pull the spark plug out that's in there, and we're going to test for spark. Your machine should have come with a spark key like this one, or like this one. So this one's made for one of our multi-tools, this one's made for one of our chainsaws, and this one's made for our fire pumps and like stationary engines. So we're going to pop this one on. The spark plug may be a little tight, so you just use a lever. I'm using the other spark key. You can use a screwdriver, whatever you can find fit in the hole. And just turn it around. Then you should be able to undo it by hand. Spark plugs don't need to be terribly tight. They just need to be, firm. Righto, so I've got that one out. So the next step is we can pop it onto our lead that come off it. The next step is as well, make sure you've got your engine on, because if the switch is turned off, that means there's going to be no spark sent to the coil. That way you're not getting any spark on the actual spark plug. So around on the front of my engine here, I've got my on-off switch here, so make sure it's on. Don't have to worry about choke, fuel, accelerator, anything like that, because we're not trying to start the engine. We're just trying to check for spark. So what we're going to do now, what we have to do now, you can't just pull it over like that, checking spark, you're not going to get anything. So what you have to do is actually earth this part of the spark plug. You can have it on a piece of metal on the machine. If the machine is hard to get to, so if you put it in there and you can't see it, what you can do is get a bar. So I'm going to use this. Get a bar, just earth that onto the machine and then earth it off that. So that's earthed in there. Should be able to pull it over and see some spark. Oop, lost my bar. Yep, so I should be able to pull it over and see some spark. Yep, I can see some spark there. I don't know if you guys can. I'll see if I can show you. So as you can see, we've got a bit of spark at the spark plug. So that's all good. So that we know, that's how you know you're getting spark. If there is no spark or the spark is very weak, that can cause your engine not to start. So if you are finding that you're not getting spark, even though it's all earthed and everything's properly, I'd look at changing the coil. So changing your coil is a bit more of a stuff around. So this is one of those checks just to make sure you tick it off your list. So if your machine's not starting, you check for spark, check you're getting fuel, check your fuel's good, check you're getting air, all those type of things. So that's just one of the things to check off the list. Next things we're going to do, we're going to do it on the chainsaw. Very same concept. I'll just show you how to do it on that one. Alright guys, now we're going from our fire pump to our chainsaw. This is our 54cc chainsaw. What we're going to do to check spark in this one, you're going to pop the air filter cover off and the air filter. That way it makes this more accessible. So what you can do, you've got this little knob here, you just turn that one. If it is tight, there is a flat blade you can fit in there, just like that, and turn it like that. But yeah, it's not too tight, so I can do it by hand. Pop that off. Exposes our air filter, so we're going to pop our air filter off. Just a little wing nut on top of it. Wing nut, and we've got our air filter straight out. Then we've exposed our spark plug lead, so we should be able to pop that off our spark plug, just like that. Then we're going to use our spark key that comes with our spark tool that comes with our machine. So this one will sit straight over it. Takes that off. It's got our spark plug out, so I'm going to be able to plug that straight into our spark lead. And as you can see on this machine, to test for spark, there's no real good way to earth it, because remember before, we've got to earth that bit. So what we're going to do, the same method, I'm going to just put that in there and earth it onto this. So make sure you don't push it all the way in, otherwise when you pull it over you're going to hit the piston. So you've just got to stick it on the earthing machine, so you stick it in there. As long as it's touching the metal, and you can touch that, that's a good way to earth it. So as you can see, I've just got it put to the side on the block of the machine, so that this is now earthing, then that can earth to that. So we're not getting spark, and the only reason that's for is because it's not on. So like I said before, we're going to make sure the machine's on, otherwise we're not going to get spark. Righto, we're getting spark now, so as you guys can see. So we're getting spark. And that's it, guys. So that's how you check spark on our chainsaw and our fire pump. Righto guys, so we've tested for spark on our pump and chainsaw here. That's all it for the video. Thanks for watching.